please consider subscribing to the channel. I post 2 times a week, on Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Please use headphones to better hear the gentle mic brushing. Okay, let's get right into tonight's case. This is a new case, and I hate to say that it is another TikTok star turned killer. So, now this case happens to remind me a little bit of O.J. Simpson. Just a little bit. And that is because it is the case of a man who murdered his wife, who he had just separated from, and her male friend. So that's kind of where I see it as a similar case, but that's where it ends. So let's talk about it. This double murder occurred on October 21st, 2021 in San Diego, California at about 3:10 p.m. Alright, now, the TikTok star who we are talking about went by the name JinnKid. His real name is Ali Abulaban. He also had a YouTube channel, but his TikTok was where he was the biggest star. He had, or he has, even the account is still there. Okay, you can go there and look. He has about 950,000 followers, so just a little shy of 1 million. And the sort of content that he had been creating was mainly impersonations. His favorite impersonation was that of Al Pacino's character in Scarface, Tony Montana. If that's how you pronounce it, or am I confusing that with Hannah Montana? You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, he did a lot of those impressions, and I think what made him originally popular was his kind of role plays of Skyrim in real life. Skyrim is a video game, and I guess he was acting out like he was in Skyrim. Since I've never played Skyrim, I can't really explain it, but it's not that important. So, his impersonations were pretty good though, you know, like, he was a pretty decent actor, and I guess that's why he was popular. And he was known for doing collabs with some other well-known TikTokers. grew up in Virginia, and he graduated from high school there. In January of 2017, he married Anna Abulaban. To give you a little bit of background on Anna, she was born in 1993 in Okinawa, Japan. Her nationality is Filipina. She graduated from college in the Philippines, and somehow she came to meet and then marry Ali. I'm not 100% clear. Anna had a friend named Casey who said that she went to high school with Anna in Japan, and it was a US military base, and that is where Anna met Ali, because he was in the military. But I did not find any information to support that, so I don't know if it is valid, but it's not really that important. So they went on and married and lived in Virginia. And according to Ali, they had the perfect American dream. They had everything they needed. He was an aspiring singer and actor, but Anna wanted to move to San Diego, and so they did. Now, while they were living in Virginia, supposedly she did not have much of a social life, and he was really controlling all aspects of her life, or so it seems. But when they moved, she developed a lot of new friendships, and she was hanging out with a lot of new people, and most of these people did not like Ali, so he was not always invited to come. And this left him feeling very angry and jealous. Now, when they moved to San Diego, it was February of 2021, and they had a 5-year-old daughter. Now, wasn't in that kind of a crowd, meaning, I know in some places everyone has a gun, right? Just depends on where you live and who you hang out with, but amongst the people that he was with, nobody had a gun, or they certainly didn't bring one around with them, but he did, and he would always refer to it. Part of why nobody wanted him to come when they went out, So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, he moved into a hotel room, but that was on October 18th. Right away, he returned to the apartment that he had shared with his wife and daughter. He had a key that she didn't know about. He had copied it at some point, and he broke in with that key. He found his daughter's iPad, and he attached a listening device to it, so he could hear everything in the apartment. So, and he went back to his hotel room and listened. And on October 21st, he heard something that he did not like. He heard his wife talking to a man, and they were giggling. And so now this information that I'm telling you right now is from a jailhouse interview. He spoke to Fox News live. I mean, face to face. He told this story. So he said he heard giggling, and he immediately got into his car. He was sure that they were about to have sex, and he was screaming in the car, "Don't do it, don't do it." And he got to the apartment. He raced inside. He saw the two of them. It was Anna and her friend Rayburn Barron. He was a 29-year-old man. Little backstory on him, there's almost nothing that I could find, but I believe that he was born in Mexico, and according to the GoFundMe that his family put up after his death, he was an amazing brother, son, nephew, cousin, and friend who touched all the lives around him. He put his family first. He would give to his family. He was a loyal friend, and he impacted many lives. So, it sounds like he was quite a wonderful person and loved by many. Unfortunately, on that afternoon at around 3 o'clock, Ali burst into the apartment, and he saw the two of them on the couch kissing. And he said, "This is my apartment. This is my wife. This is my furniture. What is going on here?" First he shot Rayburn 3 times, killing him. And then one shot into the forehead of his wife Anna, killing her. He then left the apartment, at which point neighbors who had heard gunshots looked to see him leaving the apartment building. is just unthinkable. So, he was arrested for a double homicide, and he was held without bail. He faces either life in prison or the death penalty if found guilty. And he has pled not guilty. So you would think, how can he plead not guilty? I forgot to mention, he also phoned his mother right after the crime, and he told her what he had done. That was before he went to pick up his daughter, and she reported that as well. She didn't keep it a secret, apparently. But somehow he is trying to say that he didn't do it. During the jailhouse interview, he started out with the story that he walked in and they were kissing. He didn't say he shot them, but he was telling the story, and he was extremely emotional. He was screaming and crying throughout the whole interview. So he said, he told them the whole thing, how he heard it on the iPad, how he raced over there, he saw them on his furniture kissing. Then when he was questioned further by the reporter, he said that he found them dead already. And there was a clear conflict between what he said in the beginning and what he said later. So how could they have been kissing on the couch? And a couple minutes later he says he found them already shot. And he denied having told his mother that he killed anyone. And he says that he told the cops he found them dead. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense. And his lawyer told him not to do the interview, but he did it anyway, and I guess that was pretty stupid, because they will definitely use that against him. Having said that he saw them kissing on the couch. There you go, done. During the interview, he talked about how much he loved his wife and how he knew that he could get anyone he wanted because he was so famous and good looking and everything. But he didn't care. He only wanted her. And the reporter said, "Could she have anyone she wants?" And he said, "Not while she's my wife." And he talked about how he was this close to a successful acting career. And he was really, really upset that it was all thrown away now, since he's in prison. He was just about getting a talent agent, and he had something lined up in Los Angeles. And this had ruined it all. I'm not sure who he was really angry with, though. In his own head, was he angry at himself for doing it? Or was he angry at the system for catching him? He also admitted that he used cocaine and admitted that the cocaine makes him very aggressive and violent. Now, let's talk about what you think about the case. And I will tell you what I think. First of all, my heart goes out to both of these people who lost their lives, and I don't want this guy, Rayburn, to just get swept under the rug like he doesn't exist, okay? He was as much of a person as anyone else, and the fact that he's not like the star of this murder, even though that sounds ridiculous, but this guy was completely innocent. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and it is super unfortunate. Now, I'm not saying that Anna is not innocent. She was completely innocent as well, but it was her husband, you know. And this is where I'm comparing it to OJ. Remember how OJ's wife, Nicole, she had a boyfriend, was named Ron. See, I can't even remember